Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sunday School. This is Miss Marianne. Hope you guys are all doing really well and finding lots of wonderful things to do out there in the world. We are continuing our series and listening to part of Jesus's most famous sermon called the Beatitudes. And today, Jesus talks to us about being pure in heart. It is our hearts that lead us to connect to others and to desire their well-being. I feel like this beatitude helps us to follow the other beatitudes, so it all works together. A couple announcements before we get started. One, we are going to have our first communion for our fourth graders, or if you're a fifth grader, even a sixth grader who hasn't received first communion, you can participate in that as well. So be sure, if you are eligible for that or know someone who is, be sure that your adults are checking their emails or can get on the website to find the information on that. You must register for that by May 9th, and the ceremony will be May 16th. That is in person. We will be limiting who is able to be there for that for safety reasons, but we are excited to be able to offer that in-person service. We are also going to start having limited Sunday school in person during the live worship service. So families can register to be at that live in-person Sunday school or live in-person worship service, and then can register their children to be in Sunday school with us during that same time. So if you're interested in that, I would love to see some of you guys. We're real excited to get to that. All right, before we get going on our lesson, let us get our candle and do our opening prayer. If you have yours, you can get it and light it. Here we go. All right, and let's take a moment to take a couple deep breaths to get us ready for our prayer and our lesson today. Loving God, you are always real and true in what you do and promise. Please help us to live our outward lives from pure inward hearts. We want to think, speak, and act because of our love for you and your world. We want to see your spirit active and at work and be a part of your team. Amen. There we go. All right, so we are going to join the huge crowd of people who are following Jesus and climb the mountain to hear the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus sees the people's hurts and pains and cares for them in many ways. You ready to follow him and climb the mountain? You remember, can climb in many ways. You can climb overhand, you can use ropes, you can hike, you can roll in a hiking wheelchair. You might even come up with another special way to climb up this mountain. I'm going to hike. You choose the way that works for you. And let's get up this mountain. Are you ready? Let's go. Whew, we made it. That didn't take as long as I thought it would. All right, we made it up this mountain. Let's take a second and take a look around. I wonder what you can see up here. What do you see from this view? Wonder if you see any interesting people. Wonder what you notice. In Jesus's time, people believed that mountains were holy, special places to be near God, probably because they reached so high into the sky. Jesus told the people about God's kingdom on this mountain. You can think of a kingdom as the way the world works or the way it is set up. In God's kingdom, there is enough abundance, more than enough honor, food, love, money, power, and resources for everyone, for every child of God to thrive. Are you ready? Did we remember to sit down after we got up the mountain? All right, are you ready to hear what Jesus said? Jesus said that blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Jesus cares about our bodies, our hearts, and our minds, how we act, feel, and think. Put a hand on your heart right now, one or both. Can you feel your heart beat? The heart is the center of us. Our beating heart is what keeps us alive, but it's also the center of how we live our lives. What we want and need the most, what we feel, and what's important to us is carried in our hearts. What we carry in our hearts has a huge impact on the actions we take and the choices that we make in our lives. The inside of us directs the outside of us. And this is why the heart, the inside of us, was important to Jesus. It's why Jesus said that the pure in heart will be blessed. To be pure in heart is to show love for God, for your neighbor, and for yourself in how you act, speak, and think. Our integrity is an important part of this. You are a person of integrity when your outside actions match the person that you are inside. Integrity means working towards wholeness for yourself and creating that same kind of wholeness in the world for others. When your heart is pure, you also want wholeness for everyone else. When you live from integrity and purity of heart, you do kind and helpful things because you love God and you love your neighbor. You aren't focused on just how it makes you look or what kind of reward that you're going to get. Maybe you empty the dishwasher because you know that's a way to show love for the grown-up in your life. Or you clean up your toys and markers because it makes the house a nice, safe, and loving place for everyone in the family, not just because you're going to earn an allowance or more screen time or something like that. Purity of heart helps us make outward choices based on love and a desire for wholeness and wellness in ourselves and our world. We will show compassion, mercy, and love because we know that that's what we're created to do and who we are created to be. And when we do this, we will see God. We will see and experience God's presence when we see the fruits of God's Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Our eyes will be open to the ways that we see people caring for one another and the way that we experience caring ourselves. And seeing how God is present in our midst, in our lives, gives us the encouragement and hope that we need to keep going. I wonder what you think being pure in heart means. That might be a tough question. I wonder what you picture when you think of a pure heart, or what you think someone who is acting with a pure heart, what kind of actions are they taking? What do they do? I wonder what some right or pure reasons are to show love and compassion. I wonder what that looks like. I wonder if you have done something kind or helpful just because you wanted to show kindness. And I wonder how that felt when you did that. I wonder what integrity looks like. I wonder what having integrity feels like. I wonder what it's like to be around someone who has integrity, or what it's like to be around someone who has a pure heart. I wonder what part of the story you liked best. I wonder which part of the story you think is the most important. And I wonder where you are in this story, or which part of the story was especially for you. And I wonder what you are going to do this week. I hope you find something really fun to do. Before we go, I want to give you, before we get to that, I want to, in your email for the principles for this week, there is, as always, a coloring sheet and a family page. And there is also this week a special template to make a poem about who you are. And you can write it or you can draw it, whichever you prefer, or a bit of both, whichever you want to do. I would love for you to do that, and I would love to see that if you feel comfortable sharing that with us. That would be wonderful. So, but I really enjoy it. It's a real simple little thing, but it's pretty nice to do. All right, so let us do our blessing before we get going. Remember, a blessing is something that you receive, so you can put your hands out like this, and I will speak it, and then you can take it into yourself. May God bless you from the inside and out, from your heart to your mind and your body. And let us do our closing prayer. Be careful I don't put the candle out. It's very light, but there's one there. Let's do our closing prayer. Loving God, we thank you for the times that bring us close to you and to one another. Help us to remember that you are always with us. Amen. And I will change this light so that the light of Christ can be with you wherever you go and wherever you are. This light is with you and it will find you when you need it. Blessings, everybody. Have a wonderful week.